can find first. And I want to mention a third device today that I didn't mention yesterday. You have Hills and you have SAS. All three of these are what type of triangles? The big one and the two smaller ones. They're all what type? Right triangles. I didn't mention this yesterday because you never needed it, but you might need it today. And you already know what I'm about to say. If you can't use Hills, SAS, always keep the following in your back pocket. When you have two sides of a right triangle and you're trying to find the third, what have we been talking about all year long? Pythagorean theorem. So I'm just going to add that in. But I'm only going to use it if needed. If needed. Could I use Pythagorean theorem on this right triangle to find y? Yeah, I could. All right, but I'm going to keep using Hills and SAS because that's what I want to keep showing you. So is everyone all good? Keep that in your back pocket. Pythagorean theorem. All right, I want to find x first. I'm making an executive decision. We're finding x first. All right, my first, what is x? Hypotenuse, segment, leg, altitude. What is x? That is a 6. That is a segment. That is a segment. Do I really want to start with SAS, though? If I'm going to find x, which is a segment? Would that make any sense using SAS? What's the A stand for? Altitude. And what's the altitude? Okay, so now I'm talking two variables in the same proportion. We're not dealing with that. So is everyone good? SAS not the way. Oh, but maybe a little Hills might work. Hills has an S in it for segment. What's the H stand for again in Hills? 13? Hypotenuse. And the hypotenuse here is right here. That's the hypotenuse. How long is it? I got 1 and I got x. How long is the hypotenuse up here? 10? Oh, this guy. It's going to be all weak. 15?
1 plus x.
1 plus x. Everyone all right? 1 plus x. I'm going to write x plus 1. I like my variable first. Over. What's L stand for? 24? Leg. I got 2 of them. I got 3 and I got z. Hey, I already have an x in here, though. Probably don't want the z, right? So I'm going to go with 3. Legs are the same in Hills, so 3. And if I use a leg of 3, which segment do I need now? 12. If I'm using this leg, which segment do I want? 1, the one adjacent to 3. All right, I can solve for x now. I can solve for x. X plus 1 equals 9. And there you go. X equals 8. Again, this wasn't the only way to approach this problem. If some of you just wanted to go right to Pythag and find y, you could have. All right, but I just want to keep using Hills and SAS as much as possible. So x is 8. Make sure we know that's 8. All right, everyone ready? Let's, what do you say? Find y next? Find the altitude now that we know both segments? Could I use Pythag? Sure, I could use Pythag. But I'm going to use a little something we like to call SAS instead. Could somebody help me fill in my proportion using SAS now? Here we go. 15, segment.
1.
Altitude.
X. Or no, y.
Altitude.
Y.
Segment.
8.
Got to be different. Good. Y squared equals 8. Up, here's the question everybody loves. What class are we in? Darn right, I don't want a decimal. Break it down for me. Simplest radical form, like tonight's homework is going to be. Square root of 8, break that sucker down. I don't even want to know the perfect square. Just break it all down. What's square root of 8 break down into 5 when you're ready? 4 and 2. Keep going.
2, radical 2.
You're good. I got you, Claire. You're good. 2 radical 2. Nice job. So that's 2 radical 2. And what are we on now? Z? All right. I'm going to do this on purpose, all right, because I want to show you something in your calculator. Could I use Hills to find Z? Could I use Hills? All right, you could use Hills. Could I do Pythag on the big right triangle to find Z? Yes, I'm not going to do either. All right, I'm actually probably going to take the toughest way, and we're going to find Z using Pythagorean theorem on this triangle, and only because I need to show you something on your calculator, if it ever comes up again. So I'm going to do Pythagorean theorem using that triangle I just highlighted in yellow. A squared, B squared equals C squared. What are A and B? Those are your two legs. So what are the two leg measures of this triangle up here? What are the two leg measures? 26.
2 radical 2 and 8.
Okay, so 8 squared plus 2 radical 2 squared equals Z squared. Everyone's good? 64, and here's why I'm doing it this way. How do you do 2 radical 2 squared correctly on your calculator? You start doing this, 2 radical 2 squared. Your calculator's thinking what? I'm squaring what? Just the radical 2. If you type it in like that, your calculator's going to think, oh, they want me to just square radical 2. Is that the case here? No, you need to square 2 radical 2, so adjust it in your calculator how? Put a little parentheses around that bad boy. 2 radical 2 all squared. So please watch out when you're squaring a number with a radical. You have to put it in parentheses because your calculator is going to think you're squaring something else. So we should get 8 out, and if you don't square it, you're going to get 4 out. Okay, hey, I'll prove it to you. 2 radical 2 the incorrect way. There you go. You're going to get 4 out because it's just squaring the radical instead of the whole thing. So 8. So please watch out. That's not, and I'm showing you this way because I know it's coming up on the quiz next week and on future problems. All right, what's that? 72 equals Z squared. I'm in honors math, or at least my schedule says I am. Break down 72, and 9 is not the biggest perfect square. There's something bigger. Whew. What is that perfect square that goes into 72? That's not 9. 28.
36.
36 and 2. 6 radical 2 for Z. Any issues? Again, is this the only process? No. You find whatever you can find first and go from there. All right, let's keep grinding. No, next one's going to be a little tougher. Yep, there we go. Find X and Y. I really don't want to push you either way. Let's see what you have to say. First thing I'd be thinking about, what are X and Y? Those are what in the diagram as far as hypotenuse, segment, leg, altitude? X and Y are what here? Oh, 11?
Segments.
Those are segments, yeah. Ooh. All right, so both of them have segments in it, right? I got SAS, which has segments in it. Probably not going to be good enough. Why not? Probably want to chuck that right out. The altitude's totally blank. Okay, and I can't figure out a way to find the altitude, so that's gone. Hills? Question mark? Because you have a leg, right? You can use 15 or 20. That's up to you. And the segment would be X or Y. Here's my problem, though. All right? I don't want to put X plus Y and then have an X or Y diagonal from it. Everyone agree that's my issue, is the hypotenuse. Or is it an issue? Is finding this hypotenuse an issue? What do you think? No. Can you find it? What did I tell you to keep in your back pocket? Pythag? Everyone see the right triangle? How many sides of this right triangle do I know? 2. Find the third. Pythag. Yep. Is that what you're going to say, John? Great job. Great job. Want to give you some credit. What are A, B here? What are A and B here? Make sure we know how to use it. Tomorrow, whole day dedicated to Pythag. I can't wait. 24. What are my A and B values?
15 and 20.
Yep, the 2 legs, which make up the right angle. 15 squared, 20 squared equals C squared. That should be, you could probably take the square root of that without breaking it down. It's already a perfect square. And when you get that C value, let me know. 8.
625.
Yep, take the square root, right? C squared equals that.
25.
25. Good. So there's my H. There's my missing H. 25 over. Bridget, your choice. Which leg you want to go with? Didn't even pick a number there, huh?
Wait, you see me?
Which leg would you like to go with? I just wanted something quick, so I didn't want to go over a number.
15.
15, sure. So 15 equals 15. If Bridger picks 15, we better be solving for which segment then? 21?
X.
X. There we go. Good job, everybody. You could have started with 20, but you better put Y in there. 25x equals 225. How many quarters in $2.25? If anybody can pick that up. 9. X is 9. Quick question there, honors kids. If X is 9, okay, I get it. I could do hills again to find Y. I'd like to speed this up so you guys can get to your homework, though. Do I need to do hills? No. What did we just find out about the hypotenuse? It's 25, right? So Y can just be 25 minus 9. Oh, I didn't even think of that. 16. All right. All right, everyone's favorite time, factoring time. Here we go. Yes. The first 2 was like, what do I use? Hills, SAS? That's not even an issue. Better not be an issue here. Better not be an issue. What do I have to use? Hills or SAS? Quick diagram check. What am I going to definitely use here? 20? SAS. Yeah. What's the issue?
I have no proper idea.
Okay. Definite SAS because 10's the altitude. We're gone, right? Set it up for me then. Set it up for me. 9?
It's X plus 15
Yep.
over 10. 10 over X.
There you go. It's not the setup, it's the solving that's going to get you here. All right, the setup's fine. SAS, boom, 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 boom. Now it's the solving. So I get x squared, good there, plus 15x. And on the other side, 100. Might be the only time that number shows up on some of your papers this year. Too harsh, sorry. Too harsh. Too harsh. That's one I could do every year. Not just you. All right. Probably more true last period than this period. Next up, it's equal to 100. What's he talking about? That's probably you. 21. Next.
Subtract 100.
Got to be equal to 0 before you do any factoring. Oh, such big numbers. So sad, honors kids. So sad. I'm making you find 2 numbers that multiply by 100 but add to 15. And now, hey, on your own time, maybe tonight, if you want to bust out quadratic formula and solve it that way, that's fine. That's fine. But if we can factor it, we are factoring it in class. But your choice outside of class, if you want to do quadratic formula. So play around on that calc of yours. Let's see. Numbers that multiply to 100. 2 and 50? No. No. 25 and 4? Close. No. 10 and 10. Back to the drawing board. Those 2 numbers that multiply to 100, but somehow are going to give you 15. 3.
-5 and +4.
20 and 5. Good work. Got to be positive 20 and negative 5 to add to 15. So x equals positive 5 on one side, and x equals negative 20. Did we have a diagram? Then I have a problem when I plug in one of my answers there, huh? If I have a diagram, so guess what's getting the boot? Negative 20 is gone, 5 remains. And it said find x, right? Just check. Yep, solve for x. So set up easy, solving a little tougher. One more, where the solving's a little bit tougher. Oh, perfect. Again, not like I wanted to just get out of here and. Correct. Yep. So I got 26, the whole thing, minus the other segment, x. Good. Good. Bless you. So we have x times 26 minus x equals 144. Something else is going to come up here that we haven't faced yet. See how you guys want to handle it. Every time it'd be like, hey, let's just move the 144 over and factor. There's a problem on the left side. What do we not like, Nick, on the other side? Yeah, we don't deal with negative x squareds, right? Or at least I don't. I get freaked out by them. So I know it might be a little more inconvenient, but I'm going to move over the right side over instead of the 144. So my x squared becomes positive. So subtract the 26x over and add the x squared over. And write it in the correct order so you don't get scared off when you factor. 0 equals, what do I have here? X squared minus 26x plus 144. And yeah, can you believe it in honors? I'm asking you to find two numbers that multiply to 144, but it'll somehow give you negative 26. Play around in that calc. They're there. It's not 12 and 12, though. We have two numbers. Will?
Negative 18 and negative 8.
8 and 18. Yep. 8 and 18 multiply to 144. And if you put negatives in front, they add to negative 26. Watch what happens here now. X equals 18 and x equals 8. Go back up to my diagram. Any issues with those answers? No. So you're not going to reject every time. All right, I'm fine with 8, and here's why we're fine with it. Let's say that's 8. Guess what the other segment's going to be? 18. If that segment's 18, that one's going to be 8. So we are accepting both. No need to reject, but there is a need to get out your textbook or online textbook and get going. Anything that's a radical, simplest radical form, please. Anything that's a radical tonight, simplest radical form.